Hey, welcome back. Welcome back to the Scorpio channel. My name is Laura. If you're new to my channel, I'm going to do a general message for Scorpio. Know that energy is fluid, rules could be reversed. Just interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Also, know on this channel and all my channels, I like to dive deep within the reading. So I look at everything, but we take more time to look at the spiritual blockages, the shadows, to see how they play as karmic themes, to help you understand why everything's playing out the way that it is, right? We want to know that because a lot of times we're looking to change. We're looking to heal. Most of the people that wind up on my channel are looking to heal. It's not just about what that person is going to do or what they did do. We look at all those things, but there is a deep desire to heal, and the thing is, our relationships teach us. They teach us where we need healing. So there is an innate desire to understand, to know why. If we don't know why a person acts the way that they do, we get stuck ruminating. Get stuck ruminating why they do that. I know I did this, I did that. They should have did this, and understand that keeps you so detached and disassociated because you're stuck in like this karmic theme because it wouldn't bother you, right? Again, we know that something bothers us when we ruminate, when most of our energy is going towards it. Now, you only have so much time, energy, focus, money. I mean, those are your resources. You're the magician of your life. So when we look at these oracle readings, is to understand that it's not just to get caught up in what they did do, but it's to understand why a person does what they do so you can look at it through a different perception. Otherwise, people we get stuck ruminating forever because it's like it doesn't make sense. It's like when you're connected to someone that you know loves you, but doesn't treat you like they love you. It's the same as when you grow up in a family and no one gets along. Like if you have siblings and they don't talk to you, like it doesn't logically make sense because unconditional love is the energy of God, and it's the energy that when we're in it, we're abundant. But again, holding on to resentment and remorse because of how things play out, you know, um, it's going to keep happening. You stay stuck in that fragmentation, especially if you grew up in a family where the siblings aren't talking to each other, or like when you didn't talk to your mother, or you had a horrible relationship with a father, or you were disconnected, then that detachment, those types of karmic themes continue to play out within our lives. We unconsciously create them. So again, the readings go deep. Now, if you resonate with this video, give it a like. It's good karma. And the more that the channel grows, the more I can be on it and offer different things to you guys. You know, it's hard to, be able to like be as consistent when people are not as interactive. Even when I do live streams, I see that there's a lot of people on and they'll stay for the whole thing, but they don't give it a like. It's like, what is it that makes it so hard to give support? That also shows like again, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna take, but I'm not gonna give back. And the karmic theme of that will always make a person feel like they're not enough when really it has nothing to do with who you are many times. It has to do with, people just are lazy. They don't want to do it, you know? So it's good karma. It's good karma, like to do it. It's like it's good energy. All right. So like the video, subscribe to the channel. And if you need shadow coaching, sign up for shadow coaching. It's $7.99 a month. And even those of you that have joined, be consistent in joining. A lot of times, like I send out Zoom links, I don't get, a response. So it's the way that you heal is to be consistent. It's like because you learn. Healing happens over time. consistency. People that aren't healed, they are not consistent. They're not grounded to be consistent. So then they're like, I don't see it happening. We only see results when we show up and we're consistent. So I don't know who needs to hear that, but like I said, this is a healing channel and it's not just about healing your relationships. You will see the same behaviorisms play out within a person's daily life as they treat themselves, as they treat other people. Everything's a mirror. Everything is happening because of what your beliefs are. So we can change. So the underlying energy is the genius, which is an awesome card because of the creative genius. So it's more of the intuitive mind, the psychic mind. The psychic mind is that part of self that transcends all time and space. It's the God part of self. The God part of self is the Holy Spirit. It's a supernatural part of you. So when a person is in their passion, they're doing their passion. This is the underlining energy, the creative genius. It's like, it again, transcends the logical, analytical mind because it's spirit and we're spiritual beings having human experiences. So we all possess this genius part of self, but understand then when you're in this energy, you're going to have so much light. There's so, and people are going to notice you, but you're also going to bring out people's demons because people that are blocked from their own light. So you'll be, even though you're in a high vibration, you're going to bring out people that are in imbalance all the time. And I feel like you're someone that did that all the time. So you're like a Heoki. And a Heoki is an empath that tends to awaken the wounds within other people. And it's because of your light. So you'll be like, I'm not even doing anything, and I feel like people don't like me. And so Spirit's saying it's like because you're in this high energy. Moths go to the light too. It's not just the bright and happy things, like like just insignificant, more like irritations will happen where you're like, I don't understand why like people act that way. And the reason why is because again, you bring that out. So when you're in connection from someone, that means that you're going to bring out whatever shame that they have. You're going to be able to dig that out. And so when we have wounds and we've disconnected from ourselves, from any experience, which everybody has wounds, because we're born into imperfect worlds where we form habits and behaviorisms that are in alignment with the perceptions. And so we get out of that perception and move into a new perception, and we have those same tools that we learned from the previous perception. And this is what keeps us in this karmic loop of perceiving that there's something wrong when there's nothing wrong. It's again, and that's because of other people's. But when you're in the genius, no one can really stop you. But it's heavy energy, is to realize that there's a heavy energies like are around you. So, and it's not to scare you, it's to be like I feel like you're going to be tested. And that test can come in the form of a person. I mean, usually it does. And I feel like, yeah, there was a person that you were connected to that is actually, they're in disgust with themselves because they hold the energy of shame. And like I said, you've been in disconnect from this person to the point that this person doesn't even know who you are anymore because you're in this creative energy right now. And so, again, this person was always able to act self-righteous, like who they thought that they were. They actually thought that they were better than you. I mean, because that happens again with the Heoki. It's like the Heoki showing a mirror all the time. Unfortunately, the mirror will show the different aspects of the person. When they met you, they perceived you to be less than. and that they perceived themselves to be who they were. And so again, and they did this by being very stubborn, not flexible. My way or the highway. You don't like it, like I'll replace you. It was almost like overcompensating, to the point that there was no emotional, this person didn't feed the connection enough emotionally. So they never considered your feelings or emotion. It's not that weren't attracted. They had attraction. There was lust. There was a spiritual connection. There was no emotional connection. So this person was able to betray you. And they betrayed you because you weren't making it easy on them. Because again, you have boundaries, structures that made this person angry. And they are just someone that, again, is just very selfish. So, in their way of trying to get you to become obedient, they disrespected you. And that was continually because you standing your ground made this person insecure. And you're like fighting with them, almost like not understanding why they're treating you the way that they are. Now, hurt people, and fragmented people will act from that energy. And I feel like what wound up happening is you're like, well, first of all, my expectations. I feel like you just felt disappointed because you thought that this person, like, if there's a spiritual connection, a lot of times, and there's a chemistry, there it can be confused for like the a twin flame connection, this person like to be like to, of course, to care about you emotionally, and they did, and they didn't. They purposely didn't. So again, they showed a lot of narcissistic energy that's again made you feel powerless. Like you're like, why am I going to stay in a relationship that's full of lies? Because if there's no real emotional connection, and there's just a spiritual connection, well, that's not grounded. It's like, okay, so there's this perceived chemistry, like I've been with you before, like we should be together, but that doesn't mean we should actually be together. And if there's no emotional, this person can treat you however they wanted to, and that's what you felt. You're like, I can't be in a relationship where it's your way or no way, because your way like doesn't consider me at all. And that was the thing. And so, of course, this person like made you feel again judged, like you felt like your thoughts and feelings and emotions were always being judged because, oh, what are you, codependent? Oh, what do you need me to like baby you? Oh, what do you need, like an invitation? Or oh, what do you need, like anything time that this person could have extended like love or anything or it's support, caring, just show up for you. It's like, oh no, what do you need to ask me? You need to beg me to do that. Yeah, and then I'm going to judge you for it because, well, why do you need me to do it? Because this person doesn't really want to do it. They're cut off from their emotions, so they can't actually show up for you. And you just got tired of the abuse because, again, this person was supposed to show up for you and they knew that they should have showed up for you, but they didn't, and they didn't apologize either. Instead, they were dishonest, acting like, well, this came up, or I had to work, or something always took precedence over you. And so you're like, okay, I don't really want to be in a one-sided relationship. And it was like, again, we have this spiritual connection and we have like this chemistry, this passion, but on the physical realm, it's the emotion. It's how a person shows up for you. And this person was never showing up. And they were staying in their own like fragmentation, that their own karmic thing. So again, they would have no problem like being sexual if you would be, but it would be only that, and it wouldn't be balanced. So this person only really knows how to like, come in like a whirlwind. It's always intense and always like like a problem or some drama. So the relationship, the connection, the attachment connection isn't really one that's built on anything. If a person comes to you because they're desperate, it's like they're not going to stay desperate. And if you're digging them out, well, then they're not going to respect you over time. And so, there's a sense that there's always a looming agenda with this person. It's a one-sided relationship where you feel like it's like you're using me for what you want to use me for, and you're acting like that the spiritual connection is enough when really, you're uncertain that they gave you enough to for even like restore this. It's like you didn't do it. You're going places, and you're tired of having to read between the lines with a person that doesn't want to be transparent because they have too many love issues from the past. So they have too many barriers. So they're just controlling, somebody that wants everything their way and their way is not fair. So the relationship never creates strong roots. It's just like you feel like you're wasting your time. And the reason why is because you are. You are. This person's an avoidant. They have addiction issues. There's someone that doesn't want to do it. They want to stay a child. I feel like it's Peter Pan syndrome, and that's, they don't want to show up. It's their way, but it's their way, which is going to be codependent, where emotionally you'll get nothing. But you get to be like everything that they want you to be. You don't get to be you. And it's again, it's a very, narcissistic energy. Again, where the person pays too much attention to the physical body, not enough to the emotional. This person doesn't understand. It's again, doesn't understand the difference between like lust and love. They don't, it's again, they think that that is love. I'm attracted to you. I'd like, it's again, I do want to take care of you, but it's going to be my way. It's like this person's angry because again, they're in a place of lack and now paranoid because you've disconnected because there's trust issues. But what is this person doing? They're projecting, which is what a person that is not healed projects onto the Heyoki, right? So again, they wanted to keep it in a place of imbalance. So again, hold on to your energy, but not really give you anything, and then detach. Again, we see addictions again. It's the way that this person can stay, again, with the perception that they want to perceive about themselves for their self-image, and they're just stuck in their old habits. That's what you're dealing with. That's what they're doing now. It's like they're not doing anything. And if they didn't have the drinking or the drugs or whatever the addiction is, it's again they would be in a place of intimidation because you're standing up for yourself. This person is, you know, they're not strong. They create the illusion like they're strong, but they're full of fear because the person that doesn't allow you to be you and needs to control you and won't emotionally connect to you, well, there, of course, they're gonna be someone that's very destructive, someone that's very toxic, because they haven't created enough of themselves. So, when a person doesn't have enough of themselves, the everyday things that happen in life become an irritant because it's like, oh, I have to do this. I have to do everything because the mindset is the glass is half empty. So if the glass is half empty and I'm tired and I'm always looking for problems, well, those problems occur, because we see what we look for. So this person doesn't really want to be vulnerable because they don't like themselves. And so again, they think it's okay. Again, I'm attached to you, but you should put up with my drinking, my drugs, my other people that I run around with. Like you're more of like a safety blanket for this person. So in their mind, they do love you, but they're so codependent and so fragmented that again, and you bring that out, and so you have to be punished. And the way that you're punished, the only way that this person can really punish you is, by making you sad, by trying to make you the victim, by manipulation. No one agrees to go into competition with someone. No one agrees for someone to have authority over them. That's not what you agreed to, you know. But this person feels inadequate, so they're going to make you feel inadequate. They're in their trauma. And the only way really for them to not experience trauma in a relationship is to keep it surface and make it all about the sex, in spite that there's a past life connection. This person isn't strong enough. So again, they would empower you if you showed any sign of your own individuality, your own person. So this person takes risks when it comes to their lifestyle, but then when it comes to how they're going to treat you, they're just lazy. They don't want to put the effort in. They don't want to do anything. They want it to be the way that they want it to be. And the way that they want it to be is, they want to be impulsive. And you don't really want someone to be with you that's impulsive, that just, like I said, needs to heal. This person just needs to heal. They need to heal their inner child wounds. So, I mean, it's, they want you because there's this connection, but they don't want to do what the relationship would take for it to evolve to like a twin flame connection. Like they stay in this toxic, low past life connection. And they're like, well, I believe that I can, have it my way by my way or the highway. And so, because they don't want to really change, they want to still be a child, which understand when people have their inner child wounds and they weren't allowed to be children, they tend to wind up being very narcissistic and winding up, being a child, acting like a child, where the person is so toxic and so controlling and so, and that's what you see here. So this person just expected, I don't know why, almost like expected that the connection of it being that it could have been like this awesome magical like connection that they just really felt like it's good enough. You'll want this. I don't really have to put in that much energy. And so you have to say, okay, are they going to do anything? I didn't feel like they were going to do anything because again there's a part of this person that again the energy is stagnant. And that's the thing. It's like, and the only way that this person is going to really do something is, they'd fight with you. Like energy is so triggers. This person would try and trigger you, and then this way, if you like show some sort of an emotion, then maybe they have something to work with. Again, this person's not transparent, and they play games, and they feel you pulling away. Again, cutting off your energy. So understand, this person knows eventually you're going to leave them for good. Because that's what it comes down to. This person is intimidated by you. They have feelings for you, but they're not on the spiritual level. They have to do work. You represent that work. They resent you because you represent that work. So you're going to be punished all the time. And so the best that this person can actually do is try and like start a fight with you, and maybe you'll start talking to them again. Like, I mean, that's really what it is. Because, and they'll do it when, they feel that you've pulled away. Then that's because they are not capable of that. They try and astral travel to get you to, like, in your mind. But it's again, you're not there. They don't want to do the healing. They don't want to purify. And really they would need to do is understand that it's time for them to heal now. They would say that, but they're not saying that. Or when you leave, they'll say that because you don't know what you got till it's gone. It's again, they had it all. All they needed to do was put a little bit of effort in. They didn't want to. They wanted to be lazy. And they really thought that they would be able to do it, saying, oh, well, we have this chemistry, we have this spiritual connection. I just don't want to do the rest of the work to create the intimacy. So you can't do anything with that. The best you can say is, well, why did you attract this person into your life? You're a mirror of whom what comes into your life. So we look at the inner child wounds and we see, look, oppression. Well, that's what this person was doing. They were keeping you down. Shut up. My way or the highway. My way or the highway. Oh, yeah, you're gonna get talking. I'm gonna be with somebody else. That you were supposed to live the lies and the secrets. So growing up with somebody again that was oppressive, they could have been an alcoholic. They could have just been angry, just an angry parent. Understand that, the oppression is somebody that like didn't just, emotionally do it. They did things to prevent you from moving forward, to stagnate your growth. And that happens when your parent is spiritually sick. If your parent is spiritually sick because they're just full of rage and anger because of their life, they don't like their life, then understand what happens is that they look at their child as a little bit like competition, but also they get triggered by their child. Like, why do you have that life? I had to wait until I was 30 years old before I got a house, and you got a house when you were 21. Like the comparison instead of being happy, it's again, they look at the glass as half empty. And that's a parent that's spiritually sick, a parent that it doesn't like their life, doesn't like themselves, so they can't really like you and understand that that's why. And no one goes around saying, but when you're prevented from going out and finding yourself, children go out and they play. That's how they find themselves. But if, you're being bullied at home and emotionally terrorized at home and not given support, well, after a while, the optimism like goes away. However, you need to survive. So the child detaches, they disassociate from that experience, and that means they're with source. Again, the child that survives thrives because, again, they're with source. They're in the imagination. They're in the creative mind. But obviously, that's going to be a problem in the physical world because we're not always in the psychic mind. We shouldn't be anyway. We're physical beings having human experiences, and we're supposed to have those experiences. But if the trauma was severe because you had a parent that was oppressing you, and I understand that could be by telling people lies about you, by creating the illusion that you're someone that you're not. So people are not going to trust you. They're not going to like you. So that makes you not like you. Like spiritually sick parent is what I'm feeling here. Someone that, just was so angry with their life and saw you as someone weaker, saw you as someone, because obviously you were, and an extension of them who they did not like. So they were abusive. So you were with source. And Spirit says, and you became very resilient. Meaning nothing was going to stop you. It didn't matter what happened, who didn't like you, who was going to, it didn't matter. The Holy Spirit is within you. The God's within you, and no one can stop you. Only you could stop you. And Spirit saying, so this is why you weren't able to really like find who you were when you were a child because you had that oppressive parent and that I call it spiritually sick parent. Because again, that anger and that resentment, we're not taught that, the spirit says, get this off of me. And we get project when we get triggered by someone else, that spirit saying, hey, that's something that needs to come off you. That's not something that needs to come off the other person. They shouldn't be able to trigger you. Again, that heyoki is the mirror that says, hey, I don't really like what I'm seeing here. Sometimes it's again, and it's just the healing. It makes us question and it's confusing. So understand that parent was, kept you down, but that's because that's where they were. So Spirit says, so you had to again release the limiting beliefs that no longer serve you. You were taught that you were someone that you weren't. You were made to feel as if you were unworthy, not good enough. But God says, you're not here by mistake, you're here by my design. And you have purpose. You have purpose. And when you have purpose, you can create your own heaven on earth. You just can't have to find what that purpose is. That you had to again go through this experience to see brighter horizons, envision that because the kingdom of heaven's inside of you. So you have to envision a future filled with potential and opportunities, see your own genius. And that's what we started with, the genius, right? Didn't we? Again, that's what transcends everything. The creative genius is the God part of self. And if you grew up in that, you know, learning how to intuitively navigate your life, well, Spirit says, well, that's able to, create your life then very easily. Because again, you were in that psychic mind. You have to ground it, and grounding it may be hard. I think grounding is hard myself. But understand God makes a way where there is no way just for you, that you're always on the right path, even when it's not traveled, because God's creating the own way. No one's done it before. You're creating a way where there is no way. And again, that's because God says, I'm going to display my glory, and I'm going to display my glory through you. And again, so you're on the right path, even though you're like, where am I? Doesn't look right to me. Doesn't look right to me. Show me the money. Show me something. And Spirit says, I'm working on it. And it happens in divine time, Spirit says. Not in your time, in divine time. And so again, understand that you have to go through all experiences, good and bad, in order to see the life and your potential. And unfortunately, it is about facing your fear and but just living boldly, not like living out loud, unafraid, unapologetic, especially if you were oppressed. The creative genius is again, you can't suppress it. It will not be oppressed. And that's when you're able to channel all that emotion from your childhood into purpose. And really, that Spirit saying the creative genius is that. It's that you're, again, in this passion of yours, of whatever it is. This is a collective reading. So, again, that you're in the highest energy. And in this higher energy, it's awakening like a lot of demons in people because it's showing the people who they are through how they treated you. And it was through the perception of how they thought that it was okay when they viewed you through a certain lens. And now that you're healing and you're evolved, it's again, people are seeing you differently, and they're getting angry. They're getting angry, almost like, how dare you? How dare you live a good life? How dare you? How dare you, like, be yours? So again, unfortunately, the subconscious trauma, which it was the experience of being oppressed, you will continue to feel that from other people until you handle it differently. And Spirit's saying you're handling it differently because you're on your path. You're not letting anyone stop you. So you are, where you've let other people stop you, where when you were a child, you couldn't help it. But understand, growing up with an angry parent and then attracting angry people that are going to get triggered because of your light, because you're Heyoki. Well, understand Spirit says you got no choice. You got to go through the fear. And that's because you'll see no one can stop you. It's again, and it's about redefining your character and overcoming the difficulties by remaining positively. That you calm your heart and you illuminate your intellect to transform your own shadow into light. That you consciously manifest goodness in and around you. That you improve the qualities for the benefit of all. That is again, that your goodness, like that you're the example. The Heoki usually is the example because again, it's perceived as someone weaker. It's perceived as the underdog. It's perceived as that it's flawed, that that person's flawed when there is no flaw. It's the fact that the Heoki is a mirror for those that are flawed, for them to do the healing. However, it's a rude awakening, especially when the Heoki shows people who they really are. They're the most powerful of all the empaths, and they have the most creative vision because of the creative genius, which is clairsentient and claircognizance, which is again the empath's true power. So we leave it off with Spirit saying, yes, but do you have the courage to use it? The Spirit says, have courage and know that you are stronger than fear and bigger than doubt, that you're light and that you remain light. You trust in God and you stand tall before the tests of life, that you're going to get them. Grow and become wiser through every challenge. And you are a being of new life. The Spirit says the new life is triggering people because it's like, hey, who are you? You weren't supposed to have that. And Spirit says, yeah, they don't like that. It's again because what you're saying is, I am not who you say I am. That's who you are. And that's why they have to experience the fear because it was easier for them to project it onto you. Spirit said you needed to go through this experience in order to heal it. I'm going to leave that there, Scorpio. I love you guys. Give the video a like. Give me love. I need love, you know? All right, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.